Ladies and gentlemen, last class you created a project on Adobe Photoshop, and what you did was you started with a blank file and you added a picture repeatedly. Some of you had more than one, and some of you just had one picture. Some of you may have flipped a picture around, some of you may have just left yours as a grid, but each one of you should have a grid to work with today. So the first thing you're going to do today is you're going to go to File, Open, and you're going to go to the Student Share Drive, General Share, Kakuzi, and then you'll click on the color of your class. So you might be the turquoise class, or you might be the red class, but you'll double click on your class, and you'll open up the layer projects to open up your projects. So as I can see here, all of these students have theirs and are ready to go. If by any chance you don't have that, I've left the instructions from last class and you can follow those and get to this point. But this is the fun point. What you're going to do now is you're going to add a filter, which is sort of an overlay or a change to each picture to make it look different. So you want to start by selecting a picture. And if you go to the Move tool, which makes things bigger or smaller or flips them, okay, all you have to do is click on the Move tool and you can click on your picture. So whichever picture I want to do, I'm clicking on with the Move tool. I'm going to start with this first one and I want it to be closer. So I'm going to say View Zoom In. Okay, so I'm going to go over to this picture of my son Leo. If I go over to Filter, there's lots of things under Filter. Artistic filters, blur filters, brushstroke filters, distort, pixelize, render, stylize. There's so many different ones. So what you're going to do is you're going to go to a filter. I'm going to stylize, and I know already I like extrude. Okay? And when you go to a filter, there's going to be all sorts of little options that come up. Let me try it with blocks instead of pyramids. I'll say okay. And yeah, I think that looks cool. So I'm going to leave it, and I'm going to go on to the next one. Filter, let me try an artistic filter. I'm going to go to colored pencil. And what's going to happen is this is going to come up, and this is going to, I can choose how bright the paper is. Okay, I can choose the stroke pressure. I can choose all of those things. Now, right now he's blue. The reason for that is if you look over in the paint palette over here, I have picked black and blue for my colors. So if I wanted black and white, I could change that to black and white. But it doesn't have to be black and white. It can be any two colors you want. So if I go back to artistic and I go to colored pencil, now it's black and white, so you can see the paper in the background is white. And I can make it brighter if I want. And if I liked that, I could say okay. All right. Cutout makes it look like it is a collage, so I could try cutout. Fresco, but you can just go through and see which one of these you like. All right. I really like neon glow. I think it's cool, and you can pick what color you want your glow to be. So if I wanted him to be orange, I could say okay, and I could have an orange glow, or I could have a blue glow and say okay, okay. All right. Another one under artistic, filter, artistic, that I really like is plastic wrap. I think it looks really cool to see what someone would look like wrapped in plastic wrap. And when you're under here, you can change all of these things until you're happy with it. And you can say, okay. I'm going to move on to another picture. And you should just be able to click, but if somehow that's not working, just go back to the Move tool. Okay, and all of those were artistic filters. We've got blur, we've got distort, we've got pixelate. Pixelate has a lot of them that look sort of Minecraft-like. Sketch, I can make it look like a stamp. Okay, so that can be black and white. Or if I wanted, again, another color, like let's say I wanted it red and black, then I could go in and filter. Let's see, that was under sketch. I could do stamp. Okay, and I could take a look at it. I could change how smooth it was. I could go through all of those different things. All right, another one that's a favorite of mine is stylize, emboss, and that makes it look like it's raised to different levels, and I usually do a lot of levels because I think it looks really cool. Okay, and you notice that I can change the percentage, so before I was just looking at a little part of it, or I might be looking at too much of it, but you can change that to see. So as I zoom out, you can see that I've done 5 filters, all right? You need to do a filter to each picture, except if you want to leave one plain, that's fine. So you can leave one normal, but other than that, each of your pictures should be a recognizable different filter. One more that's cool is if I go to filter, and there's lots of them that are cool, it's really which ones you like. Distort over to liquify, okay? Now, I want, right now, usually when you go to this, it's gonna be 50%. So if you want it bigger, I usually go to 200% so I can see it larger. And the little tool down here that looks like a hand lets you grab it and bring it over, all right? So all this does is it's for moving around. It doesn't do anything to your picture, all right? If I go to the top, this little pointy finger is the warp tool. And right now, do you see how big my paintbrush is? It's huge. So I'm gonna make my paintbrush smaller. So now it's a little bit. So I can warp any different areas. My poor kids. Good thing they don't go to school here. They'd be like, hi, your mom made you an elf today? All right. So you can play around and you can change things with this warp tool. Now if I say revert, it brings it back to where it was, all right? So if I wanted to make the brush big and try this twisted one, I could twist my son's head, revert. I could also pinch my poor son's head so it was smaller, all right? And if I don't want this, I say revert. If I do want this, I say okay. And that's gonna take a second. And it's gonna go through, all right? So now I still have 3 to do, but I think you get the idea, all right? When you are finished today with all of your layers, with all of your filters, you're gonna say file, you're gonna save it normally first, just in case anything ever happened. So you say file, save, and then you'll say file, save as. You'll keep the same name, you'll keep the same place. So right now I'm in the turquoise class. And you're gonna save it as a JPEG. So you're gonna drop down to JPEG, and you're gonna say save. Okay. And then it's ready for me to grade as a JPEG. And that way it takes less memory too. Okay? Once you're done with this, what I'd like you to do is I'd like you to go to Schoology, and I would like you to answer the discussion question. So if you look for your course, you should see in the materials, there's a discussion question. How comfortable are you with Photoshop currently as compared to 2 weeks ago? Can you see yourself having a reason to use this project in the future? Answer in a complete sentence. You will not see everybody else's answer until after you're done. So a couple sentences, I would like you to do a well thought out reply. When you're done with this, you can work on your portfolio. So you're gonna finish your layer project, Schoology question, and portfolio. Thank you.